All right, guys, welcome back. I'm Elise Randolph, joined by Mystical Might. We've got Penez out in the red team with a Sacrilege Damnation and bringing in the Malices. Misty, what does the laser, not the Laserhawks, what does the blue team have?
Yeah, easy to mistake the two with the Rattlesnake there. So Odin's Call have a Rattlesnake, double Nighthawk, double Vagabond, triple Sveeple, and double Scalpel. So I guess another variant of potentially a Shield Rush team since they came in quite close to the beacon. But then, so again, did the Penez out team.
Yeah, so these Malices, I am going to expect a lot from this. They are all very close to one another. These Malices aren't usually good at dying, right? They're very, very tanky ships, but man, they're so close to one another.
Yeah, it's a super tanky ship, which is probably going to pin down, the damage ships that we're seeing coming out from Odin's Call. And you can see damage going on to a Sacrilege already on the Penez outside. But more importantly, I think, are the fact that the Sveeples and one of the Vagabonds managed to get through to the back line, get onto this Blackbird. You can see a lot of damage coming out onto him now. So I think that the Guardian's going to have to split reps a little bit and try and keep his team up.
Yeah, so the Guardian right now, crucially, is very safe, right? It's not being attacked. It just needs to get the reps off, and it's something it's able to do. Like this Vagabond, it's got an ADC and an Ansel, so it's going to live for a little while, but after those 9 bursts go off, it's going to melt. It's already in half armor.
Yeah, so we can see that a lot of pressure is coming out onto that Penez out team. The Blackbird and the Sacrilege both in half armor at this moment in time. I think the Vagabond probably ADC'd when it hit armor, and then it got repped right back up. The Scalpels are having a hard time because both of the Malices have found their targets. They are sitting on top of those Scalpels, applying their nuke pressure, trying to make sure that they can't put out reps effectively for the Odin's Call team.
All right, and this Penez out Blackbird, he is just living, right? Just barely living, but he is living. As the Sacrilege also takes some damage, I think they're going to just have to let this Blackbird die to save the Sacrilege, and that looks exactly the call that was made.
So one thing that I'm going to point out is that the Vagabond of Dread has burned straight into the backline of the Penez out team. What I think would have been more effective is if he stayed with his Scalpels so that they could provide reps. Instead, we see that the Scalpels are sitting around the Nighthawk, which is currently taking damage, which does make sense, but it does mean that the Vagabond goes down and it's one less ship that can apply pressure.
Yeah, so one of the Scalpels is being neuted out by this Malice. So he's not going to have any cap to speak of. So the rep power is going to start looking a lot less on the Odin's Call side, just because these Wang's Malices are just so good at keeping something capped out. When you're talking about a heavy newt, at least you can cycle under a heavy newt if you're a smaller ship. But these Malices have these small newts, so the cycle time is so fast that you cannot get a rep off. As this Absol starts going down, and this Guardian is starting to go down. This Odin's Call team, they don't care about the Malices. They don't care that they've got less reps. They're just shooting through everything.
Yeah, so they've played the right move here. They've gone for the Guardian with their Sveeples and their Vagabond, and one of the Nighthawks has actually gotten free, surprisingly, of Hugo. So he's burned directly into that Guardian. Hopefully he doesn't bump it, because he's not stopped his ship. So I think he has actually bumped the Guardian. That's going to slow it down a little bit, actually. Poor play there. But what it allows is that the Guardian goes down, and it means that the Penez out team has no reps at all, and the Nighthawks and the Rattlesnake can try and just get through everything else.
All right, so the Guardian pops as well as the Vagabond. They kind of go down at the same time. Sveeple's now just going down here. Just a lot of death is about to come out of both of these ships. But I like Odin's Call position here, even though they're losing all of their small ships. They still have their Nighthawks and their Rattlesnakes that are able to pump out damage. And now they don't have a Guardian on the Wang side to like get any of that damage repped up. They're just a bunch of rep bots, but that's about it.
So I'm concerned with the way that Odin's Call is playing this now. It seems like they've tried to primary Malices with the ships that they have left. They still have 2 Scalpels, and sure, the Malices will be an issue for the Scalpels, right? But I think it would have been more effective if they'd gone for the damage ships with the Nighthawks and the Rattlesnakes. And eventually, Malices don't matter if they don't have any damage left. And I think they probably trade quite effectively if they just go for the Abso here.
I mean, if you look at Ignacio right now, there's a swarm of probably 50 medium armor rep bots and light armor maintenance bots all around him, keeping him up. So he doesn't really need a guardian. He's got a small sig. And they just traded a scalpel for half a malice. You were absolutely right, Misty. This was not the greatest call for them. As you can see, they're trying to, Odin's Call is trying to wheel out of this. They're going for the absolution. I think that's the best target call that you can get, right? These damnations we've seen, they don't do a lot of damage, right? If you can get these Absos out of the way, then maybe you can just start zonking through everything.
Exactly, yeah. I think the Nighthawk has a much better kind of EHP profile than a Damnation does. Probably does less damage than an Absolution, the Damnation that is. So clearing up the Absolution first, then switching on perhaps to the Sacrilege or the Damnations, getting those clears would have been really good while they had those Scalpels up. But by taking time to shoot the Malice, which probably had rep bots on it because it is now full armor, they waste their time instead of trading their damage effectively. And we can see that they've now lost the Scalpels, they're losing that Nighthawk, which I think just ASB'd, which is interesting. But maybe an active tank Nighthawk?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking, yeah, as you can see, the defense bar does have quite a lot of purple. I'd assume that was mostly the Rattlesnake, but I guess it could be the Nighthawks as well. Odin's Call traded a Nighthawk for an Absolution, but in reality, they traded two Sweeples and a Nighthawk for half a Malice as well. So that's not a great trade. You can see how just a 30-second target calling error can swing the match so drastically, as Giacomo in the Nighthawk is also going down here.
Yeah, and I think one other thing that they probably could have done earlier, which they are doing now, is clear that Arbitrator. So Arbitrator, I believe, has a bonus to missile guidance and tracking disruptors. And I believe the Nighthawks have also been tracking disruptor throughout this entire match, essentially. So making it harder for them to apply their damage effectively. I don't think that really matters too much if they're on top of their target and it's effectively webbed and TP'd. But, they're going for the Arbitrator now, which probably is sat a little bit too close for comfort. I don't think it should be that close to Nighthawks.
I think Shays Tay always likes to fly close to danger, anyways. So not a big surprise there. Right now, Odin's Call they have killed the Chase and the Arbitrator, but all they have left on the field is Stoish in the Rattlesnake. Rattlesnakes can put out a lot of damage. They're a very formidable ship. But you've got two Malices on you. You've got a Sacrilege. You've got two Damnations. You even have a Claw just tackling you for funsies out here. So this poor Rattlesnake is going to feel completely useless.
Yeah, and we can see that the purple bar for the active tank has actually dropped quite a bit now that the Nighthawks are dead. And yeah, the Rattlesnake's I think just going to die, not going to be able to trade for anything else. The Damnation barely taking any damage, and those rep bots from the rest of his team will probably be able to keep him up well after the Rattlesnake's dead. So.
Yeah, those rep bots, they're something that you can't really see on the screen too well, but it's something that all these teams have to deal with, right? And they're just Tech 1 armor maintenance bots as well. They're not even fancy, but you can see just how many of them were able to keep that Malice alive. You're like, oh, the Guardian's dead. We can kill everything. Nope. These armor maintenance bots do rep a ton, especially on these small hulls here. As Stoish finally goes down, really good piloting decision making on this Penna's outside. Just composure, as we mentioned, even from the Tuskers game, like composure did everything here. They did lose a lot of ships. They did lose their Guardian, but they didn't panic. They went after the right targets in the right order at the right times and managed to pull out a fat dub here with their Malices. These Malices are now removed from them unless they get to the finals. So, a lot of respect for the Odin's Call team by Pen is out, taking their wild cards here.
Yep.
But that'll do it.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I think with that, an excellent match, a great win, and we'll be throwing it back to the analyst desk.